You can't just have people come into a community. You need art in order to really have that feeling that you belong. Hi, my name is Brian Hander. I'm a local author and historian. Welcome to the beautiful Katy Depot in downtown Denison, Texas. Behind me, we have the Travelers Hotel, the iconic hotel for downtown. We have the MKT Railroad train cars that were built here in Denison. And then down this way, we have the railroad tracks that brought those first trains into Texas from the north. So this place is really, really special to me because my family came here in the 1880s and they arrived on these train tracks. This is how they came into Denison. And so 6 generations later, we're still here, honoring our past. So we are the first city you ever entered into Texas from the north. You know, there's the Golden Spike that connected east and west. We are this home of the Golden Spike that goes north and south. It's the first time the north and south had ever been fully connected by a railroad. Some neat things that have happened throughout our history here. We have what's known as a body part graveyard, which is located just outside here on the tracks. And what would happen is during those times that injuries were very common on the railroad, people would be trying to couple cars or different things like that, and it would be common to lose a limb or a finger or different things like that. So they formed a graveyard here and actually put all of those pieces into this graveyard. The railroad is what brought President Dwight Eisenhower's family to Denison. His dad worked for the railroad, and they lived right next to the railroad track. They heard that train every single day as he was being raised in his time here. So just really, really neat things like that. Just unique history that needs to be told. Stories that people need to hear and need to know in order to know our full history and full small town feel that we have here in Denison and why we're even here. So one of our first large art pieces that we did were these bronze statues. We have the conductor, and he was kind of one of our first ones that we did that we utilized historic book money and family donations in order to get this piece here to kind of tell the story that ties in with the depot. We also have these lady and child. And if you notice, they're all dressed in 1920s apparel. That's because the station was built in around 1909, 1911. So we tried to do something that would tell the story of the whole depot, as well as those that utilized the depot.
This morning, I'm better than I deserve to worry about my looks instead of starting.
Welcome to our studio. Welcome to downtown Denison. My name is Chris Romaine, and I'm a producer and a content creator here at Split Window Studios. About a month before graduation, I was in like a pop rock band, and a record label had reached out of Seattle, said, "Oh, I'm gonna sign you guys." Like, no way. So he came here and he met our family, and before I knew it, I was road tripping up to Seattle to cut records and went on Warped Tour and just kind of followed this whole underground punk rock scene and hard life. You got to grow up, you know, you don't go to college. As an artist, you have this pressure that you're a failure almost, because you're not meeting these standards of your friends are starting to graduate, and I just wanted to make my family happy ultimately. They had supported me heavily. And I'm like, oh, I'm 21, 22 years old. I can barely pay my phone bill. Like, this probably is not a viable career. I love music more than anything. It's like I said, it's an extension of my body. It's like what I'm good at, but I had to diversify if I wanted to build this. I always knew since I was a little kid that I was supposed to do something bigger. I want to help companies and I want to help artists. Kind of like the little man. I want to be big one day, but I got to help the little man have a professional face. People listen with their eyes a lot of times, so we've adapted video and TikTok and social media. Content creation, we've kind of made content creation a focal point here. So artists can come here, they don't have to sign a record label, they don't have to give any rights of their stuff, the stuff they create, they don't have to give parts of it away just to get the simple amenities that a bigger artist is able to get. We have like all the amenities right here. We have the technology. And now we're gonna leave the recording studio, and I wanna take y'all to the video production suite. Right this way. So this is our video production suite, and this is where all the magic happens. We literally can turn any dream into reality right here. This is where we bring your visions to life. We have a virtual LED screen, so we're able to make virtual sets, anything pop just like that. We can take a picture, we can take a 3D image, we can render it up here really quick, and we have a full lighting grid so we can light to cue, and voila. When our clients come to us, we really like to take their dreams and their vision and almost bring them to life. So it is cool that we are able to take their words and thoughts, and we almost like have created some more dreams for these people. I had a lady that just like, she grabbed me and hugged me and like she cried just after I went to do this like recap video walking. I was just, a gimbal on a camera during this pub crawl thing, and she saw like her venue all maxed out with a jazz band. She just hugged me and she cried. And I was like, man, we didn't even do anything. She's like, you don't understand, you gave us like a little vision and a little glimpse of hope for a second. And I was like, man, this is awesome. Like, so I think that's the dream, maybe, what you're talking about. Or that's what we're trying to do.
I met Jody, and then I started taking art seriously, and I started learning about art through her, and appreciating art.
Hi, welcome to Casney Studio.
Welcome to Denison. Come on in. Casney Studio, we'll show you around. I'm probably a little more reluctant artist, but I started out as a fabricator, a trained welder, and then opened up a fabrication shop and started doing sculptures.
My name is Jody Christelle. I am an artist, and I primarily work with three-dimensional.
Mark, Beebe, I'm an artist as well, multimedia. And we had a co-op. We met at a co-op, a group of artists, and then decided to start our own co-op as well. And that's how we met, started, and then just shifted to, having our own studio.
But we start just talking about ideas, and then we get out pencil and paper, and we start sketching. And then sometimes will become digital, and we'll move elements around within our sketches until we get to something that we can agree on. But then the metal has its own ideas too. Right?
Yeah, it seemed like we get the concept really well together, and then once we get started, we do really, really well, and then I quit. And then she does the last 10% and makes it look good. But so we work equal, but I tend to quit a little earlier, and she'll go take care of many more things. And that's probably what I've learned, is to get that last 10% to make it look good. And I'll generally stop where she takes us to where, we probably get a little more. If she stays true to herself, and I stay true to myself, and then we put the studio first, above everything, I think it always comes out good, and we're happy.
Public art, it adds a softness to, all the buildings and the hard edges. So it's the heart, it's heart and soul. And I think that if we do our job right, people can see that within each piece that we do, and it just comes out.
For sure, downtowns are struggling, and they're trying to find a way to, get people downtown and interested. So I think the artists are probably, even in the past, have been the ones that have moved in and tried to do some art. And and get people downtown again, you know, and I think maybe the artists are helping with that right now, you know, is to get people back to the center of town, small towns.
Public art communicates what our town values and what we care about. So I think that that's needed. Everyone, I mean, to express yourself as a whole community. The commission work is that then it becomes a puzzle. Like, how do we make this all work? How do we incorporate ourselves into this and our client at the same time? And so I think that's,
Yeah, that's always a balance that we struggle with.
yeah.
I think we're getting better at that as well, understanding, you know, public arts.
Earliest memories of being a child between two garages, and that became my studio where I would put things together, wire, nails, batteries, and just make things. My name is Steve Black. I am a local artist here in Denison, Texas. I'm known as a painter, draftsman, sculptor, also a puppet maker. I was probably looking for inner peace, who I was, trying to express myself through drawings. I was raised by a television in the 1950s. So a lot of the puppet making comes from Howdy Doody, Cuckoo Fran and Ollie, all those early puppet shows. Puppetry has been with us for ages. You go back to the Greeks, the Romans, and even prior to that, to even prehistoric people creating doll-like structures. Whether they were dolls or puppets, we don't know. But I've always been fascinated, and it seems to calm me. I find my inner self, and I can spend hours trying to resolve an issue, a problem that I may have with a puppet, a drawing, a collage. I'm very contemplative. We all have a sense of awareness, what we call our reality. Now, your reality and my reality may be different based upon our upbringing, the society in which we have been raised, economic, socially. As a child, you're not worried about all of that. You're exploring, you're growing, you're learning. And when I present a puppet to a child, they don't see me. They don't see the puppeteer. They see the puppet. And that's when you get the big old smile on the face, and that's the huge reward right there. I want to teach you how to do some of the things that I've taught myself or others have taught me, and I want to pass it on so that when someone does pull the plug, we're able to critically think. And the arts happen to be the best way to begin thinking critically. There are so many different stories out there. You've got bad puppets. If you look at the Japanese puppets, you've got some terrifying puppets. And then you have the good puppets. And they reflect society. They reflect what we feel, the love, the hatred, the indifference. Each puppet, each piece of art that you make, they all are making a statement about self to you. They started out as a curiosity on my own. Around 2009, I began an interest in puppets and how they were being built. I began to buy books on puppet building, searched the internet for puppets, and I made my first puppet, and it was a large puppet. He was about 48 inches tall, based upon the Japanese buraku style. We're now going to go over to my studio that's in my house. Every time I make a puppet, I'm learning something new, something different. The people that work in my workshop, they challenge me on new ideas. They say, well, I want to do such and such. So I'll get out the drawing board and I'll make some sketches and saying, okay, this is the framework, this is the armature that we're going to work with. And from that, we're going to build out from it. You got to see within first. You got to understand the anatomy first. And then you can play with the anatomy and make it whatever you want. I want them to have just pure joy of viewing the puppets, and just for a brief moment, they can suspend all their worries. The bills that they owe, the troubles that they have in their lives, and just for a very brief moment.
Hi, my name's Charlie Shearer. I'm a designer here in Denison, Texas, and we are actively involved in designing several buildings on our historic Main Street, as well as some renovation projects on our historic Main Street. I'm going to take a walk and we're going to look at some of these buildings.
We're excited about this building. We're going to walk in. This is the owner, Don Day. We're going to walk in and do a field observation of what's been done on the inside. We're excited about this is the facade on this building. We were able to salvage some architectural artifacts from a building that had collapsed in the 100 block. And we were able to take those and incorporate those into the front facade of this building. And it has really created a lot of excitement in town. A lot of people are happy about the fact that those artifacts didn't go to waste, that we're actually able to take them and refurbish them and put them into the design of this building. We're walking in now to the historic Rialto Theater. This building was built, I think, in around 1920, 1921. We are sitting in the Rialto Theater. This theater was built, I can't remember if it was exactly 1920, 1921. This building was built, and originally I believe it was a vaudeville theater. As a matter of fact, at the front, you can't see it now because of some renovations that's been done, but there was the outline of where the orchestra, the original orchestra pit was. This building has undergone several renovations since its beginning, but it is the last of, it was either 13 or 14 theaters that were in downtown Denison at one time. This is the last one. Surrounding on the stage, the gold leaf surrounding on the stage is original to the building. Some of the stage has been modified and enlarged for different productions. We're standing in front of the Barrett Building, which was constructed in 1893. This was originally, I believe, was the YMCA building before Mr. Barrett bought it, renovated it. The upstairs level is the Barrett penthouse. Mr. Barrett was an entrepreneur here in Denison, so we're going to take a look at the Barrett Building. Hi guys. Welcome to the private residence of Mr. Barrett.